If you want to meet German boys, just hit up a teen club. There will be plenty of them there. Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Montana, and I was an exchange student in Germany last year, and now I make these YouTube videos about German and American culture. And today's video is a little spicy, or spicier than normal. I'm going to be talking about dating, specifically teens dating in Germany versus in the US. I am in my dorm room. These are like, it's just like wall art that I made. And this is a ring holder actually, which is kind of cool. Sorry, that's all I have for background right now. Maybe it'll improve later. I've just got a few aspects about teen dating and how it differs in Germany versus the US, because there were definitely some culture shocks there and some very surprising things that I thought about dating in Germany. The first one being age gaps. So in Germany, it's much more normal for people to date and have such a big difference in age. I had some friends in the 11th grade and they were dating people who were like 20. Their boyfriends were 21 and like 20 and 22, and I could not believe that, because just to me, even a 1 year age gap was kind of crazy. But for like a 3, so like 16 and 20, that's 4 years. I was like, where are my friends meeting these 20-some-year-old German boys that they're dating? I mean, eventually it doesn't really matter, like age is just a number, but it's definitely more common in Germany for people to have like a bigger age gap. Also, before I get on to like any of my other aspects that I have, I wanted to say that I only can speak from my experience. If this is not the case or you think something different, then please feel free to leave that in the comment section and I'll try to read through it and address if I said anything wrong. But for my instance, I only lived in Passau, Germany. I only went to a gymnasium, and I've only lived in Richmond, Virginia in the US. The other thing that I think is so different in Germany is that it's normal or more normal for boys and girls to have sleepovers together. Boyfriends and girlfriends sleeping at each other's houses, and their parents are okay with that or like inviting of that. This was so insane to me, because in the US that's really crazy. When you go to university and you're about 18, your parents start to loosen up for the most part in the US. But before that, like in high school, it's very rare, unless you have very relaxed parents, to have a sleepover with someone of the opposite gender. It's just something that's kind of taboo, and you've got to have a really good reason to do it. In junior year or sophomore year of high school, like my parents would not have said yes to a boy spending the night, and also it's just like not common to ask. Versus in Germany, I had friends who would like spend the night at their boyfriend's house all the time. My one friend practically lived with her boyfriend, like she was there and took the bus from his house to school all the time, and it was just crazy. I'd be like, what? On a school night? My next thing that is actually a similarity is that in Germany and the US, teen dates are fairly similar. In Germany, they've got movie theaters just like in the US, which, okay, I'm not dumb. I knew that Germany would have movie theaters, but that's kind of a typical teen date, is like going with your date to the movies and getting snacks and stuff. They've got, what else? Oh, just like dinner dates, that's very normal. Getting asked on a dinner date and going to just get food and like hang out and walk around the city after. That's a very normal, common date. Oh, but with the movie theaters in Germany are so strange. In the US, you go and you get popcorn and drinks and sometimes candy, and sometimes people smuggle these things in because it's so expensive if you try to buy it there. But in Germany, they sell nachos, which, first off, why nachos? That's so strange. Like, nachos in a movie, I just don't think those go together. And then also they sell sweet popcorn. It is so gross. I do not like the German kettle corn. You can get salty popcorn if you ask, but more if you just asked for popcorn, they would give you sweet popcorn. So any Americans going on a date in Germany, be prepared to eat some sweet popcorn. The next thing that I have is that German boys are definitely more shy when it comes to dating. I feel like American boys are all up in your face. If you're an exchange student especially, they would not be afraid to like ask for your Snapchat, to talk to you a lot. But German boys, you've like you've really got to work at it. Like, you have to show that you're interested, and they won't always make the first move, nor is it expected for the boys to make the first move. So I would say, in my opinion, that Germans are more shy, but maybe it's just like Americans who are more rambunctious or like more open. That is one point that I most definitely noticed, because you kind of have to be open yourself and like put yourself out there to talk to them in order for them to kind of get this signal like, oh hey, maybe this girl likes me. Who knows? I kind of just said this, but I have this written down. I said, German boys cannot take a hint, so you have to be direct with them. Maybe I'm speaking from experience, maybe not. Who knows? The next thing is that Snapchat culture is a thing in Germany, but it's more of a thing in the US. And let me kind of clarify what this is. So in the US, it's very normal, which I kind of hate this, by the way. I think it's kind of gross. But it's normal for guys to just add random girls on Snapchat and talk to like a ton of girls at a time, and then like maybe be more serious with a couple of them, and then eventually decide like, oh, I'm talking to just this one girl. This goes vice versa, by the way. I'm saying like the boys to the girls, but the girls do this with boys too. Snapchat culture in the US is really okay, and it's accepted. Like, you can Snapchat a random person even if you don't know them, and you can just say, oh, I heard you go to this school, do you know these people, and then just start talking to them even though you'd never met them in person before. Versus in Germany, you wouldn't really Snapchat someone that much unless you've met them in person, or unless you directly know them somehow. Another thing is that in Germany, relationships have more build up, and then it's like, okay, we're dating. So it'll be a dinner date, and then movie date, and then like hanging out at someone's house and stuff like that, and you declare that you're dating. Versus in the US, you talk to someone and then you actually call this stage talking. Like, someone can be like, are you dating this girl? And you'd say, no, we're just talking. Which means that you pretty much are dating, but you just don't want to say that you're dating, because then you don't want the responsibility of actually being in a relationship. In Germany, sometimes they say like etwas, like ich habe etwas mit Leon, oder ja, keine Ahnung, ein Name hier. That's kind of like saying like we have a thing or we're talking. It was more normal for friends to have significant others and boyfriends and girlfriends who didn't go to our school. One of their boyfriends lived so far away, literally in Austria, and we lived in Germany, and I was like, what? Your boyfriend lives in another country? That was crazy for me. Not saying that was normal, like that's probably not normal. That was just like my one friend or circumstance. But it's also, talking to my host sister and stuff, she said that you can meet people and people start dating through friends of siblings or through friends of friends, which is kind of cool, because then you get connected and you have like very separate friends from your significant other, versus a lot of times in the US, you and your significant other are like in the same friend group, or you share a ton of friends, which just makes it awkward when you no longer are dating. Lastly, there are lots of clubs in Germany, and you're allowed in at like 16 for some of them and 18 for others. And there, people are very nice and open to meeting new people. That was a good place where like you could meet a lot of new people who didn't necessarily go to your school. So, tip: if you want to meet German boys, just hit up a teen club. There will be plenty of them there. I hope you learned a bit more about dating culture as a teen in Germany versus as a teen in the United States. Both have their ups and downs, and I'm not sure which is really better. I think both German and American boys are very, very sweet and nice. So if you can find someone to go out on a date with, then go for it. Shoot your shot. It'll be fun, and if it's embarrassing, then you'll definitely look back and laugh on it. That would be my main piece of advice after living in Germany. If you like someone, then don't be afraid to approach them and tell them that you like them, or ask them on a date yourself. I hope you guys have a good weekend. Bleib gesund und ja, tschüss!